In this video, I'm going to explain some of the most common problems that people don't really see when it comes to marketing for contractors. So of course, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can overcome these issues, but I want to make sure that you're completely aware. Unfortunately, a lot of people are going to go and advertise their company. They will spend thousands of dollars trying to get more customers, but they might not get the best results. So of course, in this video, let's break down some of those most common problems. And of course, I'm going to give you some other tips on how you can effectively market your company in order to get best results. So the first problem that a lot of people don't really see is the fact that leads are going to be expensive. If you're advertising your company, you need to understand that you're not the only company that's trying to reach customers. Like a lot of different companies are paying thousands of dollars in order to get those customers for themselves. There's a lot of different companies out there, and there's only a finite number of customers. So you need to understand that when you advertise, you basically are competing with these different companies to get those customers for yourself. And there's a lot of multi-million-dollar companies out there that have a lot higher budget than you do, and they're willing to spend a lot more money to acquire those customers than you might be able to spend. So you need to understand that for this very reason, the leads are most likely going to be very expensive if you're using conventional ways in order to get leads for your own company. For example, if you're advertising through Google, if you're advertising through Facebook, these are the most common marketing channels that a lot of different companies use. These advertising methods are structured in a way where basically the company that pays the highest amount of money is going to be able to show their company to the highest amount of people. Unless, of course, they're doing something wrong with their marketing, if they don't have campaigns properly set up and stuff, then they might waste a lot of money. But in general, the companies are paying a lot of money, and for this very reason, you will have to pay a lot of money as well in order to get those leads. So you might expect to pay $100 per lead, but it turns out that you have to pay $300 to $400 in order to get a mediocre lead. So you need to understand these issues before you actually go out there and you spend $3,000 expecting you will get some results, and waiting until all that budget basically erodes and you don't really get the results that you expected. So you need to understand that for this very reason, it's going to be a lot more expensive to advertise your company than you might think. A really important tip that you should understand when it comes to advertising is the fact that if you compete with a lot of different businesses, then of course you will need to compete based off of money in order to stand out from among those businesses. But if you find a way to market your company in a way that a lot of other people are not really utilizing, then you will be able to get leads a lot cheaper than these other companies. But if you're using the conventional marketing method that everybody else is using, then of course you will have to pay a lot more money because everybody knows that stuff and everybody's bidding on there and competing based off of the price. So of course you will have to pay a lot more money in order to get leads through that main method. So of course you need to think about it from this perspective, and if you are willing to, for example, advertising on Google, then you need to understand that you will have to pay a lot of money for these leads if you live in a really competitive area. But for example, if you live in a non-competitive area, in a city where there's only a few other companies and you want to spend some money advertising your company, then of course you will get much better results because you don't have that many companies to actually compete with, if you're doing everything right when it comes to your advertising setup and stuff. So hopefully I made that really clear, and it is one of the most common mistakes that people actually make, because a lot of people are going to spend thousands of dollars and unfortunately they will not get the results they expected because they weren't really aware of how the whole marketing system functions, let alone the fact that setting up all those campaigns can be really difficult to do it properly. So you might set up something incorrectly and stuff and waste a lot of money there, even if you don't really have a lot of competitors. You also need to understand that leads are going to be really difficult to close, no matter what kind of marketing method you do. If you are selling something that's really simple and cheap, then of course leads are going to be a lot easier to close. But if you're selling, for example, kitchen remodeling services, then you need to understand that this is going to be a big decision for the customer. So of course they will have to think about it a lot before they actually come to a conclusion whether or not they want to hire you or not. And of course they will think whether or not your company is the best choice, so they will look at multiple different companies. That's why you need to understand that closing these leads is not going to be easy no matter which marketing method you choose. But when it comes to marketing your company, you can make sure that you properly target the people that are most likely to work with you. For example, if you pick thousands of random people from the street, maybe one or two out of all those people are interested in getting their kitchen remodeled. But if you know how to properly target people that are actively looking for kitchen remodeling services, then of course you will get much better results. So hopefully that's clear as well. There's a lot of different ways that you can actually improve the close rate, and it doesn't necessarily have to come down to the follow-ups and stuff. If you properly present the message on what exactly it is that you offer and how your company is different from all these different companies in your area, then that alone is going to help you close a lot more deals than these other companies, because a lot of people are going to look at your company and they will compare your company to these other companies. If you properly answer their questions, if you properly address their concerns and any problems that they might have, then of course your company is going to have a much higher chance of closing those leads than some other companies. And you can do all these things on your website just by adding a lot of nice pictures and adding more information about your company and maybe addressing some of those most common questions that you get when you're discussing the project with a new lead. Then of course, just by doing those things alone, you will be able to close a lot more deals for your company. There's also something that a lot of companies are not really utilizing right now, and it's a Google Business Profile. And Google Business Profile can be an incredible tool when it comes to getting leads passively. There's of course a lot of work that has to be done on your Google Business Profile and on the website and stuff so that your rankings on Google stabilize. But when they do, you'll be able to get results pretty much passively with doing bare minimum work to just maintain those rankings. Basically, Google Business Profile shows up whenever people search for services in your local area. So for example, if you provide kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling services, if you have a Google Business Profile and if it's optimized properly and if it's ranking properly on Google, like if it's showing up above all these other Google Business Profiles, then of course people will be able to see you really easily when they search for your services. And this goes back to the targeting issue that I mentioned. Like if you pick 1,000 random people on the street, maybe a few of them will be interested in a kitchen remodeling project, but a lot of people that search for kitchen remodeling near me or kitchen remodeling contractors in my area and those kind of things are really interested in kitchen remodeling services. So your company would be able to show up in front of all these people that are actually interested in hiring you. So that's why this method has been really effective when it comes to getting leads. So yeah, I would definitely recommend you to check it out. And of course, I have a lot of different videos on this YouTube channel where I explain how you can effectively optimize your listing and stuff and get results through SEO. But of course, if you want to work with me and my team, then you can go to the website in the description, fill out the contact form, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But thanks for watching this video. I really hope it's been helpful. If you have any questions, let me know, and have a nice day.